Be as rounded. Okay. Bottom lip though, you're going to want to round out. I think the top lip's a little too thin. I'm going to push that in a little. And you can push in that part so you get that nice slope inward. And pull these points forward. It'll add to that slope. Okay. Bottom edge, pull that down a bit. Give the bottom lip a little bit more rounding than the top lip. Grab these points, pull them down. Okay. Pull it up. I think we want to go into the side view here. Look at the mouth and see if it lines up with the image plane. Pull, grab all these points, pull it forward. There, it lines up a little better now. Let's go into the perspective again. Okay. Next, I want to add another edge loop around the side of the mouth. Give a little bit more detail. Now we can define a chin there. Bring these points back. Bring those around. Bring this back. It's getting there. It's got a little bit ways to go. Let's delete this edge. And now we can carry through those two edges that we created from an extrude all the way down underneath the chin. That way we don't have any weird topology there in the corner of the eye. So split this down around the chin, all the way down to the center. Okay, and the same one for the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. There we go. All those cleanly go around from the top of the head underneath the chin. Let's move around some of these points. Rounding out the forms a little. Remember, we've added geometry. Pull out where the zygomatic bone is and push in where the temporal lobe is, right behind the orbit of the eye. Pull down the top of the head. Okay. I'm going to do an edge loop through the center of the nose, giving me a little bit more geometry to define the nostril area and the wings. That's going to only carry through the inside of the eye and stop at the back socket. Let's extrude here. Pull it together so we have more geometry. Push this up. Okay. A little bit of defining as we go. Another edge loop through the bridge of the nose. That also allows us to have more geometry for rounding out the shapes of the nose as well as defining the tear duct in the eye. Okay. Let's make an edge loop right on around the outside lid of the eye and also on the top there. Just evening out geometry, giving a little bit more topology to work with. Okay, let's look around it. Alright, more geometry. Let's add more stuff. I think the eyes are slightly too far apart. Nose needs some work too. Let's pull the eyes here. Let's go back to perspective. Deselect some of these points. We only wanted to select the ones of the eye. Okay, go back on the front view. Pull those a little bit together. There we go. Grab the bottom of the nose points. Pull those a little down. Okay. Let's go into the side view here. Zoom into the head. I'm going to move around some of these points to the base of the nose. Push these forward. Make sure our profile matches up to the profile of the image plane. Pull this point back. Grab the point here. Pull it back. Okay. I think things are lining up. Let's go to the perspective again. Let's see where we need to add a little bit more detail. First of all, let me push in the temporal lobe area a little bit. Grab some of these points, push them in. Right behind the eye orbit should be pushed in a little. Bring in the top forehead area a little. Okay. Grab a few points here on the zygomatic bone, pull it out. Don't have a lot of geometry to work with there, but for what we do have, we can just shape a little. Let's add another edge loop. We're going to put another one right through the center of the nose here. Pull these points out of the way a little. Do an edge loop right here. Okay, that'll give it a little more geometry to define a tear duct. Push these up, and also a little bit more geometry to round out the shape of the nose. Pull it out here. Okay, push these points down like that, defining the wing a little better from the rounding front part of the nose. Now let's move out, zoom back in. Let's see, let's grab these points, push them in, just even out the spacing, push them up between those span faces. Alright, push this point in, better, a little bit more rounded. Alright, where to go next? Let's do a split coming all the way through the center of the bottom lid. Take that all the way down to right here, end it off. And then we're going to carry another split through the center of the chin out to the edge right behind the one we just made. So there we got a quad again. Okay. Let's move that point around. I think we're beginning to have a few too many lines of edges around the side of the face here. You move these around. Kind of feeling like we have to remove one of these loops. Space this around. Let's select this loop right here. Grab that loop, go to MJ Polys, select loop, and delete that. Okay, now we have to grab the points we do have and pull them up and around. So we deleted that edge. Looks a little better now, a little more clean, less geometry. I try to always keep things optimized, as optimized as possible, while still maintaining the form. Okay, like that better. Move these points, space everything out a little bit more. There. Zoom into the eye area again. Going to do one more edge loop around the eye, right underneath the lids. Just round out that geometry a little bit more. Push those points, push that point up, that point up. Okay. Define the eyelid a little. And let's see. I think I'm going to move around these points, look at it here. I'm going to put a nerve sphere in here. I'm going to scale it down, move it all the way up to the head. Move it forward, scale it some more. Basically, I'm going to make a temporary eye shape so I can round the eyelids around it. If you don't do this, I mean, you'll never know if your eyelids are actually round and they would actually fit around an eyeball. So position it where the eyelids are, basically inside your eye socket that you built. Rotate it. Zoom in there on it. See if it fits nicely in there. I'm also going to duplicate that onto the other side, so, whoops. Put it in a little bit. Right there. Okay. Let's edit, duplicate. Well, I think that's edit, duplicate again. Make sure it's -1, copy. Okay, there. Let's see if it's fitting. Okay, let's move them around a little bit. Let's grab both eyes, zoom in, select one. Okay, go to object mode. Select the other one. Let's move them forward and up a bit and a little back. And I think they're a bit big. Let's scale them down a bit. Scale it down. Okay. Alright, I think they fit pretty nicely in there. Bring the corners and kind of just move the points around the eyes. Okay. Let's go in there again, take a look at things. I'm going to do some splits for the nose now. Carrying from the center of the nostrils, underneath, all the way up. And I'm going to end this edge off right here. Remember, if you add one edge, you have to add another, unless you want triangles in your mesh. To get rid of triangles, we add 2 edge loops always. Split polys, I mean. But that edge is in the wrong place. That needs to snap off to a corner. So I'm going to delete this edge and snap it off from here to that corner. So we have a diamond shape, but they're all quads. Shape the nose a little better now that you got more geometry. Round out those forms. Flare out the nostrils. Well, we don't have nostrils yet, but bring this in. We're going to extrude the nostrils next. Select all 3 of these faces. Extrude it. Don't push them in. Scale them together first. We want a lip line for the nostrils first, so it's not a sharp extrude in. Now we're going to extrude one more time. Push that in just a little bit so you get more of a lip rounding shape. Then we're going to do one last extrude up. And pull those together, push them back, and scale them in, and pull them up a little more. Okay, so you've got your nostrils now. Let's